Right now, a lot of people are asking the same question. Bitcoin is already expensive. It's been through multiple cycles. And headlines keep saying, you're too late. So the real question is this: is Bitcoin still worth buying in 2026? Or has the opportunity already passed? Because the answer depends on how you look at Bitcoin, like retail or like institutions. Most retail investors experience Bitcoin the same way every cycle. They discover Bitcoin after it has already moved. They buy when everyone is confident, and they sell when fear returns. Later, they look back and say, I should have bought earlier. But the truth is, timing was never their real problem. Mindset was. Retail investors ask, will Bitcoin go up next year? Institutions ask, does Bitcoin still deserve capital allocation in the next cycle? And those two questions lead to completely different decisions. In this video, I'll break down whether Bitcoin is worth buying in 2026, the way institutions actually evaluate it. We'll look at Bitcoin through cycle positioning, risk versus reward, capital allocation logic, and long-term probability, not hype. This isn't about calling tops or bottoms. It's about understanding where Bitcoin fits in a serious portfolio going forward. If you want data-driven crypto insights instead of emotional opinions, make sure you're subscribed. This channel is built for investors who want to think long-term, not chase headlines. Core question: what does worth buying actually mean? Before answering the question, we need clarity. For institutions, worth buying does NOT mean? Will it 2x next year? Will it outperform every altcoin? It means, does this asset still offer asymmetric upside relative to its risk? Bitcoin is not judged like a meme coin. It's judged like a macro asset. That alone changes the entire discussion. Bitcoin is an asset class. Institutions no longer see Bitcoin as an experiment. They see it as a digital monetary asset, a hedge against monetary expansion, and a non-sovereign store of value. It doesn't need to replace everything. It just needs to exist and persist. And as long as Bitcoin remains scarce, decentralized, and liquid, it remains investable. Most people don't realize this. Bitcoin doesn't need mass adoption to be valuable. It needs continued belief by capital allocators. Cycles matter more than price. Retail asks, is Bitcoin expensive? Institutions ask, which phase of the cycle are we in? Bitcoin moves in cycles of accumulation, expansion, distribution, and reset. By 2026, Bitcoin is not being evaluated as a new technology, but as a maturing asset within repeating cycles. Price alone tells you nothing. Positioning tells you everything. Why Bitcoin still matters in 2026. Bitcoin's relevance doesn't come from speed or features. It comes from credibility and scarcity. There will always be faster chains. There will always be new narratives. But Bitcoin is the benchmark. Institutions measure risk against Bitcoin, not against random altcoins. As long as Bitcoin remains the reference asset, it remains worth considering. Risk vs reward. Let's be honest. Bitcoin in 2026 is unlikely to deliver easy 100x returns, overnight wealth, or meme-driven pumps. But that's not why institutions buy it. They buy it for durability, liquidity, and asymmetric long-term upside with controlled risk. A 2-5x over a cycle, with global liquidity and institutional participation, is still extremely attractive at scale. Here's where retail gets confused. They compare Bitcoin's future returns to its past returns and miss the point entirely. HOW institutions actually buy Bitcoin. Institutions don't all in at one price. They accumulate slowly, average over time, and size positions conservatively. They expect volatility. They accept drawdowns. Bitcoin is not traded emotionally. It's allocated strategically. That's a critical difference. What would make Bitcoin NOT worth buying? Institutions always define invalidation. Bitcoin would lose relevance if its security failed, its decentralization collapsed, or its liquidity disappeared. None of those have happened. Volatility is not failure. Corrections are not failure. As long as Bitcoin survives stress, it remains in the conversation. Why most people still lose money with Bitcoin, not because Bitcoin fails, but because expectations are wrong. Retail buys Bitcoin like a lottery ticket. Institutions buy Bitcoin like infrastructure. Retail panics during drawdowns. Institutions prepare for them. Same asset, completely different outcomes. Bitcoin doesn't punish intelligence. It punishes impatience. Where Bitcoin fits in a 2026 portfolio. For institutions, Bitcoin is rarely 100% of a portfolio. It's a core allocation, a foundation, a volatility-tolerant position with asymmetric upside. Bitcoin is not meant to outperform everything every year. It's meant to survive everything over time. That's why it still matters. Bitcoin is not risk-free. Macro conditions matter. Liquidity cycles matter. Drawdowns will still happen. But risk is not eliminated by avoiding Bitcoin. It's managed by understanding it. So, is Bitcoin worth buying in 2026? If you're looking for fast money, probably not. If you're looking for certainty, definitely not. But if you're thinking like institutions, in terms of cycles, probability, and long-term positioning, Bitcoin still deserves serious consideration. The real question isn't whether Bitcoin is too late. The real question is, are you finally ready to treat it like a long-term asset instead of a trade? If this video helped you think more clearly about Bitcoin, subscribe for more data-driven crypto insights. And I'll see you in the next one.